Hey guys, Dave Desai, welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about the live performance injury that BTS J-Hope endured during the Late Late Show with James Corden. This has left armies in tears over how professional it was handled, how everything was done so well. So let's sip some tea, let's have a little kiki, let's talk about it. If you are new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater and you'd like to be the first to leave your hates comments, don't forget the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's jump into it. So if you didn't know, BTS was on the Late Late Show with James Corden to promote Black Swan, their new song. And this was kind of their first performance where they were going to be debuting their choreography because the video that came out was not them dancing. So this was the first time we get to see BTS dancing. This was the first time we get to hear them sing it live. So very much a big deal. And as you can imagine, our boys are probably pretty nervous. They also played a game with Ashton Kutcher, but that's for another video. We're not gonna talk about it in this video. During the performance and during the live episode, everything seemed just fine. I mean, they danced and they performed it with grace and elegance, as they usually do. They were so fancy and amazing. I absolutely loved it. Thought they did a great job. You wouldn't notice anything that had gone wrong. Everything seemed fine, except the members were probably too close. I mean, when I first saw it, the first thought that came to my mind was, wow, that is a tiny stage for 7 boys. In my mind, it literally was like, this could lead to some accidents, but seems like they're very precise, they know what they're doing, it seems fine. J-Hope is always getting injured, and I think it's between J-Hope and V that always gets some sort of injury, and it seems like these two were causing the injury in this case as well. They need to be more careful, guys. Be careful. V was entirely too close, and when V did some sort of back kick, it hit J-Hope in the head. Instinctively, you can see J-Hope kind of grab his head, but then he quickly goes back to his normal pose and continues dancing like the professional that he is. So obviously no one noticed it, no one really even took a gander at that because it just seemed kind of like maybe he was just doing this and then back to normal pose, like it was just part of the routine. And it happened so quickly, so if you weren't looking for that specific moment, you definitely would not have found it. It was shown on camera and it was very much in plain sight, but again, if you did not know that it happened, you would not have been looking for it. And for once, I will say, the armies did not pick up on this. You always get stuff, you didn't get this one. I would imagine the armies were just excited to see the choreography live, hear the voices. There was a lot of stuff to look at in the performance. Armies were probably excited that this was an American talk show comeback. There were so many things to be aware of that obviously they were not looking at the smaller details like that. Later after the show, BTS did a live stream where they all came together to talk about it. They usually do this after a big event, and it's usually a way to kind of thank armies. I think it's very nice. Like after a big event, they kind of like throw a little party for the army. It's just cool. It's a good way to interact with everybody, especially after a good moment. J-Hope told V on the live stream what happened, and V looked very, very sorry. V, of course, did not notice, and he said that he was already very nervous, so the kick just wasn't something that he had picked up on. And I can totally understand that, because if you're rushing through adrenaline, chances are you don't feel like the little stuff like that. I mean, there's so many times when I'm doing something and I'll cut myself, and I don't even realize that I cut myself until much, much later. It wouldn't have hurt for a long time. That's because when you're in the heat of the moment doing something, chances are you don't notice anything. I also feel like J-Hope might not have felt the pain until much later also. The stage also is just too small. They need to prep the stage for 7 boys. I mean, there isn't really a boy band in America that has that many members. So when you do have 7 members, you need to be able to adjust things to make sure it fits. It's a great stage for 1, 2, 4 people, but 7 people, it's just a little bit too crowded on that stage. These moves are usually precise, as well as BTS's moves in general are usually precise. As you can see in the actual performance, they moved very much with purpose. There wasn't really a wrong move that they did. So for them to actually hit each other means that they were too close to each other. V's not just like flopping around and taking too much space. He's taking as much space as he needs to. So if there isn't that much space to take up, then he's gonna hit somebody. Also, as you can see, the stage here looks very small. Armies, of course, were later very touched by the fact that J-Hope was so professional, right? He did not make a face, he did not complain, right? If it was me, I would have just been knocked out on the floor, like, as everyone else is dancing. Armies were wishing that his head was currently okay. Even messages saying how professional he was, and of course I agree. People, of course, wishing him to be more careful and to take notice of stuff like that, to be able to prep himself. He could have taken a couple steps back before V's little turn. However, there was not that much space to take a step back from what it looked like. My baby can handle a lot, and he has handled a lot, and I think he did this in such a great way. So claps and snaps for you, J-Hope. Let me know what you think of this. Leave it down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for coming. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to check it out. I am making ship music video reactions, live performance reactions, all that sort of thing. I'll leave a link down in the description down below so you can check it out. With that said, there's also 2 videos at the end of this video, so I hope to catch you over there. See you then. Bye.